Now you can set your little book aside for now, and we're going to make a decorative part for the front and for the back covers. For this, I'm going to take just several strips of the same cardstock that I used, which is the old olive. I'm going to take some white paper, some silver paper, some brads, and some ribbon. I'm also going to take a few stamps. I'm going to use one of my favorite background stamps, which is this one. It's called Print Pattern. It's a really big stamp. And I'm going to take a pad of old olive, which is the same paper that I'm using. And I'm just going to ink up a couple of the triangles, or diamonds rather. I don't need the entire stamp for this. Now I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock and I'm going to take the F from the headline alphabet. I'm also going to ink that up in the old olive. Get nice and full of ink. I'm going to center it as best I can on my cardstock, just like so. And now I'm going to do a little trick. I'm going to take a stamp from the Simply Said, and it says, "A friend is someone who makes it easy." Now I don't want all that, but I do want the word friend. So I'm going to take the Stampin' Write markers. I'm going to take a blue, just because there's a lot of blue in this paper as well. And I'm just going to color in the word friend. Now because I'm working with this fairly quickly, I don't need to re-moisten the ink at all from the marker, which dries a little bit faster than the ink from an ink pad. If I did, however, I would just put it up to my mouth and huff on it. Now I'm going to line up the word friend. Oops, that didn't turn out so well. I'm going to flip it over and do it again. And now I've got my F for friend for my front cover. Now I'm going to take a little square and I'm going to take another stamp from this set. And this one's just a little flower. I'm just going to stamp on this scrap piece of paper. I'm going to take my 1/2-inch circle punch and punch upside down so I can easily see where the circle goes. Punch out a little flower. So now I've got all my stamped parts ready for assembly for my front cover. I'm going to take this piece of old olive cardstock and I've just scored a little ways in, about 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to run my nail along the outside just to rough up those fibers. And it's a bit different look than the tearing, but it's really cute. I'm going to rough that up a little bit. I'm going to take some glue. Get that all glued up. Center that into my paper here. And now I'm going to take a brad. Now the brad that I'm going to use is a blue one from the Bold Brights. So I'm going to use a bright blue one. I'm also going to use a poker just to give me a little extra help. I'm going to poke through the center of my flower, trying not to poke my finger. I'm going to poke a spot here on my paper. And I'm also going to fold a little piece of ribbon in half and poke part of that, just to break the fibers apart. Now I'm going to take my brad and put it through the flower. Tricky with my stubby fingers. I'm going to put it through the paper here. And I'm going to try and find those holes and put it together through there. Now to close up a brad, all you do is take the two ends and separate them. Oh, there's a little accent for that. I'm ready to take this paper and glue it onto my brushed silver paper. Now I have all the pieces ready for my front cover. I'm going to work on my back cover. So I'm just going to set these aside for a minute. I'm going to take 3 pieces of white paper that I've already punched out with my 1 1/4 circle punch, and another piece of old olive cardstock. For this one, I'm actually going to take this A Friend is Someone Who Makes It Easy and use the whole stamp. So first I just need to give it a quick clean, make sure I get all that blue ink off of it. And now I'm going to stamp it in the old olive. Get it nice and juicy, put it right in the center. And I'm also going to distress the edges of this. So I'm just going to run them across my ink pad. Now I'm going to take yet some more stamps from the Simply Said. I'm going to take these 2 flowers. I'm going to ink them up in the old olive. I'm going to stamp them into these circles. Like so. Now that's pretty much everything I need for my back cover, and all my stamping is finished. So for any part of this book that's actually the construction part of the book and not decorative, I would strongly recommend using the sticky strip, just because it's going to hold it together really well for the long term. So to actually close the book, we're going to use a piece of ribbon, and I'm just going to put some sticky strip right on the ribbon. And I'm going to take the back of my book and stick it as best as I can into the center of it. And that's actually going to go around the front and tie our book closed. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and tie it closed right now, so that'll be a little bit easier to work on my back cover. And the reason why I chose to work on my back cover first is because this ribbon needs to be on there, and that needs to be one of the first things, because that's what's going to hold our book together and actually assemble our book per se. Now I'm going to take this A Friend is Someone Who Makes It Easy, and I'm going to use the glue stick again. And center it there. And before it completely sticks, I'm going to take these circles and just kind of put them sporadically around here. That way I can easily tuck it in before it's all dry. And now I'm just going to hold it so that it can dry. There's our back cover. And now we're back to our front cover, and we're going to put on the decoration. We need to make sure that when we flip it over, our back cover and our front cover are both going in the same direction. It would be pretty embarrassing to give out a little booklet with the front cover on backwards, or the back cover on backwards. I'm going to take this little green strip that we made, stick it across there, and just center the silver paper. And then I'm going to just tie the ribbon on and make sure everything looks good. This ribbon can be slippery, hard to tie sometimes. I hope you've enjoyed making our mini books. This is a really fun project to give anyone for any gift, any occasion. Also, we used a 6x6 paper, and so we ended up with little 3x3 books. If you use a full sheet of 12x12 patterned scrapbooking paper, you will end up with a 6x6 album, just as awesome to give to gift. Anyone would love it.